Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, it's good to have you here. Please join the family by clicking on the subscribe button down below and turning on post notifications so that you don't miss an upload. So today's tutorial is a highly requested brow tutorial. Before we jump into the tutorial, I'd like to say that there's no one right or wrong way to do your brows. So in this video, I'm only going to be showing you how I do my brows. So if you want to see that, please keep watching. So first thing I'm going to be doing is applying powder. In this video I'm using my e.l.f. contour palette, but you don't have to have that. You can definitely use any powder at all. I'm going to be using my spoolie to brush up my brow hairs. I've had this spoolie for the longest time. I don't remember where I got it, but you can definitely use any spoolie or eyebrow brush that you have. Next, I'm going to be taking my pencil. This is a Davis Cosmetics brow pencil, and I'm going to be using this to line and fill in my brows. I'm lining first the bottom part of my brows, just following the same direction in which my brow naturally grows. I'm just drawing one straight line underneath my brows. I tried to indicate in this video how to measure out your brows, but I did a terrible job, so I'm going to be putting a link to a picture or a video that explains what I was trying to do here in the description box, so make sure that you check that out. Next, I'm going to be drawing a line at the top of my brows to connect to the line that I have at the bottom. I'm not going to be starting at the very front of my brows, just about halfway through. If you notice, I'm not holding the pencil very close to the tip. I'm holding it at the edge so that there's less pressure on the pencil and I have less harsh strokes. I'll be brushing through the brows again to soften the lines that I have on and to make sure that my brow hairs stay in place. So now I'm going to be filling in the brows. As you guys can see, I'm holding the pencil at the edge, not at the tip, so that I don't have very harsh lines. What we are trying to do is to create soft hair-like strokes that mimic actual brow hairs. So I'm going to be doing this from the middle of my brows towards the edge of my brows and not to the very front, because we also want to create an ombre effect so that our brows don't look too unnatural or too boxed in or too drawn out. Yes, so towards the front of the brows, I'm going to be tilting my pencil slightly. You can't see it in this video, but I'm going to be tilting my pencil slightly so that I'm not using the tip but the side of the pencil to sort of shade the front part of my brows. So yes, I'm just going to be shading the front part of my brows. I'm not drawing any hair-like strokes, and I'll tell you guys why in a few. So I'm going back in with my spoolie to brush through my brows to help me evenly distribute the product that I have applied. Then I'll go back in with my pencil to fill out the areas that still look sparse to me, and then I'll use my fingers to sort of clean up the brows a little bit. Once you've got the shape of your brows right, everything else becomes easier. So definitely take your time to get the shape right. Fill out the areas you feel like need to be filled out. Do whatever you need to do until you're satisfied with the way the brows look. Next, I'm going in with my EYEBROW concealer in the shade Fawn. This is about a shade lighter than me. I'm applying this at the back of my hand and going in with a flat brush. Like, guys, this brush is actually very flat, and it's like the best brush I've ever used to clean up my brows. So I'm going to be making sure that the product is evenly distributed on the brush, and then whatever excess goes on my eyelid. Then I'm going to go underneath my brows with that shade, but I'll be concentrating it on my arc. Take your time with this step, guys, because once the concealer gets into the brows, it's difficult to get it out. One thing I normally do in this step is to hold my breath. Okay, so I hold my breath while I'm drawing so that my hands are steadier and I'm not shaking so much. I'm concentrating the product on my arc, but then I'll be bringing it forward just a little bit towards the front of my brows. While you're doing this, make sure you're looking at your brows from different angles, guys. Very important, really important, because I'm going to be applying another shade of concealer. I'm cleaning off my brush on a piece of tissue, and then I'm taking my EYEBROW concealer in the shade Chestnut. This shade, as you can see, is closer to my skin tone, so that is what I'm going to be using to clean up the top of my brows. I'll be putting the excess concealer on my face and then taking whatever is left on the brush to clean the top of my brows. I'm using a very light hand in this case because, as I said, once the concealer gets everywhere, it is everywhere. I'm also holding my breath again, looking at the brow from different angles so that I'm sure that it looks good no matter which direction you are looking at it from. So that's basically all I do to conceal my brows. The next step in my brow routine is to blend out the concealer that I have applied over and underneath my brows. I'm using this concealer buffer brush from EYEBROW, and I'm going to use it to blend the concealer into my skin. Once I'm done blending, I take whatever is left on the brush and I use it to go over the front part of my brows so that it looks a bit more feathered, less boxed in and all of that. Then I go back in and fill in the areas that still look sparse to me, and basically that's all I do. So now that I'm done with one brow, I'm going to leave you guys to watch me repeat the same steps on the second brow, and I'll see you guys at the end.
Danced all night, we felt the vibe. We used to party like it was 99. Music playing loud, everything's alright. Endless nights we're gazing at the stars. Right around with the top down, top down. We've come this far, let's make this moment ours. Can we go back to the way that we used to turn up till the morning comes up? Lighting up the mood, pour a drink in my cup, yeah. Wanna turn up till the morning comes. And tell the DJ turn it up, yeah. That's my song. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Endless nights we're gazing at the stars. Right around with the top down, top down. We've come this far, let's make this moment ours. Can we go back to the way that we used to turn up to?
So the last steps in my routine are what I'm about to show you guys. I take the concealer brush and run it through my brows to make the brow look more natural and more feathered and like mimic hair strokes. Then I'm going to go back in with my spoolie to brush through the brows to evenly distribute the product and make sure that my brow hairs align in the direction that I want them to lie. So now I'm just going to go over with a concealer buffer brush and make sure that all the concealer is well blended in and everything looks good. So this is the end of the video, guys. As usual, all the products that I use will be listed in the description down below, so please make sure that you check that out.